I'm so excited to chat with you all, even though it's kind of bittersweet because I was not ready for y'all to leave the Love Island
Man,
Games villa. I was kind of in shock after the episode. I'm like, wow, did this just really happen? Like it's
right.
like
We
only
wasn't ready
imagine.
either.
Listen. So I can only imagine how y'all felt in that moment. But I did enjoy, you both individually and as a couple throughout this season. But first off, just take me through the experience of being the power couple one moment and then like blinking and your bags are packed. Like what was going through your mind at the time? Like do you think that you made any misstep in between that, or that was how the cards were dealt.
I felt like it went from being on top of the world to being below. Like it was just crazy and it happened so fast.
Yeah.
I personally don't feel like we did anything wrong, like we could have done anything better. Um, we had our strategy that we were talking about and we were just trying to like build alliances because we knew like being a power couple so early would put targets on our back. So we didn't want to piss too many people off in the process to ultimately get us to where we are now. So yeah, that I feel like we could have like strategized and tried to like send the most biggest competitors
Yeah.
home. But like for example, when we could make somebody vulnerable, we chose Celine and Mert instead of Justine and Josh or Garby and Kendall because we felt like, okay, they're good competitors. America probably loves them. So if we make them vulnerable right now and they don't go home, now they're going to be gunning for us.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's make somebody vulnerable that we're not going to have to face like later. And so
Yeah.
that was ultimately, our strategy in that. But it was crazy, power couple to dumped so
No.
Yeah,
fast.
and being dumped over a damn lap dance challenge is kind of crazy in my opinion. I feel like in the aspect of like Love Island games, like I know that's like a Love Island statement as far as like the show and having that type of challenge, but like as far as games go, I feel like it should all be like athletically based,
Yeah.
which is all we faced before that. So the fact that we became vulnerable and put in that position because of that is kind of wow. And then again, like even in our heart rate challenge, I don't think we did that bad
No.
to where we should have been vulnerable too. So there's a few things that I'm, questioning, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And like you said, the cards were dealt a certain way, and got to move on from it.
Yeah.
I also feel like too, like they were preparing to like keep their heart rates down for us
No, I
because
was
we were
gonna say
already
like they were
powerless.
trying to. I mean, I don't know if if you're still everything's still fresh for y'all, but in the episode, like everyone, they were just not trying to be moved by y'all at all. Like when they saw
Hmm.
y'all come out, they were like trying to be stone faced. They were just trying to be their heart rate to not
That's
go up
that
at all.
target.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that, but maybe I mean maybe they just thought that there was a chance that their heart rates would just go up higher for y'all. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it did seem like that there was a lot of strategy at play with trying to make sure, okay, let's make sure not to do a lot for KK and Chris because we don't want them
Hmm.
getting power couple,
Mhm.
two times in a row. So I can see that
Right.
Mhm.
aspect as well.
I mean, which is
Um,
valid. Like
Right.
yeah,
I get why they did that, but at the
Mhm.
end of the day, like I just don't feel like that should have been a playing factor of us being vulnerable or not
yeah,
in that situation. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And it also kind of sucks the fact that to be, this is the first season where America's vote kind of has an impact, but like, you all are kind of gone home kind of based on Islander decisions and not really
Hmm.
Mhm.
America's vote. So I do think that if it
Yeah.
were up to America, I feel like you probably would, might be a little bit, a little bit longer in the villa, of course.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But I want to go into both of y'all's journeys on the season, KK, for you. I know that a lot of people wanted you back on TV for a long time, especially since you were on TV before Love Island kind of hit like mainstream.
Mhm.
Like it was on an upward trajectory toward there. But season six, of course, is like the big season. So you have people who were saying like, Soul Ties is crazy, and they don't even know the where that originated from. So I know a
Exactly.
lot of people wanted to see you back. So how does it feel to be back on the show at a time where, as far as like the fandom and how Love Island's perceived as a reality show, is very different from when you were on the
Mhm.
show. So what did it mean to finally be able to come back?
It meant a lot to me, mostly because I felt like the way that I represented myself. that long ago is very different to who I am today. And I
Mhm.
really wanted to be able to like show like who I am today because that was 2 years ago and that's what I was being remembered for. I mean, granted, that's who I was back then. So, I can just stand on that. But now I'm like a totally different person. And I just really wanted to show that. So I was really happy to be back on y'all's screens again and
Yeah.
entertain y'all.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Chris, we just saw you not that long ago. So like,
Right.
was it an easy decision for you to want to be back on TV this soon? Did you have any sort of trepidation? What was that like for you deciding to be back on Love Island and back in the villa so relatively soon?
Honestly, like the feeling was crazy, but I had told myself like I would much rather do it like on a back-to-back type of thing instead of like doing it for season seven and waiting a year or two, kind of like in KK's situation and coming back and doing it all over again.
Mhm.
I kind of just wanted to like get all that done while the opportunity presented itself. So I just took the opportunity and just ran with it. And then told myself like this is the last like go around for me for Love Island most likely,
Mhm.
and I'd rather get it done and build not just a resume but like a person, not a persona either, but like just what how do you say it,
Reputation?
a reputation, and just for like business wise too. Get as much as I can get done, just so I can handle all the other stuff that I'm trying to get done. I'm trying to get into scripted acting and modeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't going to turn down that opportunity while I was there,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I did it at the end of the day. So,
Yeah. Do you think, just in general for both of you, do you think that Love Island Games was easier than Love Island? I mean, you have the challenges. The challenges on Love Island games are definitely way different. Like that challenges on Love Island are just like you're just mostly kissing and doing nasty things, and they really don't have any sort of like impact on the game itself. But as you say in Love Island
mm.
games, like the challenges are everything. So do you think having, more focus on the games themselves and the relationship aspect kind of coming second to some degree, do you think that was easier for you or harder for you going from regular Love Island to games?
For me, I would just say that they're kind of like two different things. Like you kind of got to go into it two different mindsets. Like with regular Love Island, you're just going there to find your best connection, and when you find it, you'll be okay. But like when you're going in for games, like you have to be in a competitive mindset and you have to act a certain way and move a certain way. And so I feel like they're two different types of things, but still kind of the same too. Like, 'cause like with America's Boat, like you kind of have to have a connection too in order to stay in the villa.
Yeah.
And shit. I mean, even with your Islanders too, apparently, because we we made Mert and Celine vulnerable because they were in a friendship couple. So uh, yeah, a lot of things come to play, but to me, they were kind of totally different. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't say one is easier than the other.
Okay.
I feel like games is harder just because it's so fast paced and everything is
Hmm.
so serious. Like there's money on the line, like you have to fight for your life pretty much every day to just stay there. Versus regular Love Island, it's more intense because you're like so pressured to find a connection and to
Yeah.
make it your best connection and to do all these other things that are like love based. But games is definitely harder. Like
Yeah.
there's so many variables. You've got the voting, you've got the people in the villa that you've got to make alliances with, you got to do well in the challenges. Even sometimes if you do well in the challenges, people still go home. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's just so many variables. To me, that was a lot.
I couldn't imagine. I think there's like I feel like they're both hard, but in different ways.
Yeah,
And
for
because
sure.
I think that there are elements of both that are the same, but others is just like, I couldn't imagine being on regular Love Island and having to, if you're in a challenge, that being the deciding factor as the whether you go home or even
Mhm.
if you have a good connection, you would go home for that. So I think
Hmm.
that's kind of like the difference between the two.
Yeah.
KK, I wanted to talk about the fact that it was kind of interesting for a lot of viewers because in the most recent episode, we saw so much talk about how close you and Andrea were. And I mean, we kind of saw that, I guess, through most of the episodes, but it seemed like everybody was kind of, kind of close to a certain degree. But that was kind of the first time we had such a focal point of you and Andrea talking about being best friends. So can you just dive into kind of like the dynamic friendship you had with her and how that made that whole challenge and going against her that much harder?
Yeah, so before we even got to games, we followed each other. We were like mutuals. I wouldn't say we were like good friends,
Mhm.
but we knew of each other and we like supported each other. And so when we like met and saw each other for the first time before we like walked into the villa together, we instantly like had a connection of like, oh yeah, she's my vibe. We had like we prayed together and we were like saying affirmations together and stuff. And we kind of like made a pact of like, yeah, we're gonna do this together. Like we want to see each other at the end. And that carried out throughout the villa. Like whenever things were going on, I would be telling her my business. She would be telling me her business. I guess it
Mhm.
didn't show all of that, but
Yeah,
like we were really close. Like every time it came down to like, oh shit, something's about to go down. Like it was me and her.
yeah, yeah. And I
Mhm.
also want to talk about the fact that, there was, I think that there was a little bit of discourse even on social media about kind of how Nicola was very emotional about the decision to
Mhm.
send you all to have you all up. And I think that it's fair on both sides about how, how she may have felt about having to do that, but also the fact that like, at the end of the day, that was y'all being put in a difficult position. So how
Right.
did we kind of see it in the episode, but how did you kind of end things leaving the villa there as far as both of you kind of meeting a common ground on, the decision that she made and like how that impacted the both of you?
Yeah, so I was never actually angry with her or like upset with her personally. I was just really trying to focus. Like I was doing my affirmations and like praying and like
Yeah.
just trying to manifest this win because I'm already super overly emotional at the fact that it's gonna be either me or my best friend that's
Yeah.
leaving the villa. Like there's no lifeline, there's no voting, there's no islander choosing. Like one of us is going home, period, point blank. And that was already like just rushing through my head. So I was emotional about that. And I was like, okay, I have to get my energy right. And so I wasn't ever upset with her. I know what it's like to be in a power couple and have to make a crazy decision that's
Yeah.
impossible for everybody. So I was never holding that against her. But I did feel like whenever she approached me at the orange couch and I got up and like walked away, it was because I had just like cleansed my energy and like got my mind together. But when she came, I'm like a person who like absorbs people's energy. And when she came, the energy was so heavy that
Hmm.
I was like, oh no, like I can't do this
Yeah.
because I'm about to fight for my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally about to do this do or die duel right now. And like I just have to get my mind right. So I went back to my little area to like refresh my mind. And she comes over there and she asks if we can talk. And for me, like, it just wasn't the time. I could tell she was really apologetic, but I just really wasn't in the space to like, like comfort her
Yeah.
because I was trying to comfort me.
Yeah. But also like,
And that's all that was.
yeah, I mean, and also like you said, like if someone else has like nervous or anxious energy and like you're taking on their energy heading into, the
Yeah.
battle, that's kind of, and also I can only imagine how it seemed to be a pretty quick turnaround. Like you learn that morning that you're about to have the duel, and then like literally you're about to go into the duel. It's like boom, boom, boom. So I can only imagine how it has to you have to have a clear mind
Yeah.
I guess a calmer mind and not an anxious mind heading into that. So I think that like I said, I think that people can see like both sides of like, how,
Yeah.
putting someone up is hard, but also like the other person has to deal with the repercussions of that, being,
Yeah.
have potentially going home as well. So I think people get it
And
on both sides.
I was really apologetic that I made her feel bad. That was never my intention to like make her, more upset than she
Yeah.
already was. Um, I just couldn't do it at that time.
No, no.
That's all that was.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And Chris, for you, you actually came. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm assuming that at least at the start of the season, season 7 was probably the most represented season on Love Island Games to have you and Charlie and Angelina. What was it like being able to share this experience with people who were just on TV with you a couple of weeks ago? And did ever did you ever think about doing any sort of alliances from a season perspective?
Mhm. Honestly, like having them both in there at the same time felt a little bit more comfortable. I was kind of already comfortable with being at that specific villa because I had, like you said, I was just there. And I had spent time with Andreina in there, what maybe like a week or so, and Casa. But then I had never spent time with Charlie in the villa because he had left before I got there.
Yeah.
And we were cool outside the villa. Like we both met back up in LA. We were spending time with each other with Jeremiah, a whole bunch of other different Islanders. So we got to know each other a little bit well and became friends. And so when I saw him pull up in the villa, I'm like, oh shit, like it's another one of us. He's like family to me
Yeah.
in a way. So we kind of already had like a type of alliance that kind of naturally built, just being from the same season. Like I said, we kind of felt like family. And then me and Andreina, we were like a brother sister type of vibe too already too. So yeah, I felt mad comfortable having them in there.
Yeah, yeah. And KK, I have to ask, Tyreek was making his rounds around around the villa, and you were one of the subjects of his affection during this season so far. What was that like? And do you ever think that you would have seriously considered a pairing with him, whether that was for the game, whether that was more for, to be in a couple purposes? What was your read of what was going on between you and Tariq?
Honestly, it was all over the place. Like he was just really flirty and fun, but I didn't think that I could like be in a couple with him. I felt like me and Chris had a better connection than me and Tyreek. And I think we had like similar goals of like what we wanted out of this experience. I mean, I came for love, he came for money, but like whenever we talked, we were like, okay, like we're gonna win this together. And that was like a common ground that we found. So we connected, and I always felt like my connection with Chris was better than Tyreek's, but Tyreek just like kept me on my toes. Like you just never know what's gonna come out of his mouth. Like he's really a menace for
No, no.
so
I had not seen his season before, and I was confused. I was like, why do people call this man a menace? And then like once I'm watching this season, it's like, okay, I understand why they do that. Like it's like the perfect definition. So yeah. And for both of you, I want to know, who are you, who are you rooting for, I guess, to win this season, but also no, sorry, who do you think is going to win this season? And then also, who are you rooting for to win this season?
I'm rooting for Andrea, and I think she can win. I really do think she can win. I think she's smart. I think, all the guys love her, and I think she's strong and she's very competitive. So I think she has a potential to win, and I'm definitely rooting for her.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm rooting for all the girls, to be honest. Like, I just met them and fell in love with all of them.
yeah, yeah,
I'll say for me, it would probably most likely be Josh. He's very competitive and he don't play about, winning. So, and I felt like he has a huge chip on his shoulder, especially how he went out in his season. I feel like he got a lot of different motivations and something to prove,
yeah,
and that's going to take him far. And, I don't know if he coupled up with Andrea again or not, but I think them two together would take.
yeah. Yeah, I think Andrea does have a good shot if she doesn't keep switching couples. I mean, she's going.
Yeah.
It seems like every episode she's in a new couple. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think those are definitely two great choices. But thank you both so much for taking time out of your day to chat with me. Hated to see you go so quickly on the season, but did enjoy what you both brought to this season. And thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's nice
You
to
as
meet you,
well.
Nice to meet
Trey.
you as well. Have a good
Take
one.
care, Trey.